Wait. Wait. Good job. Okay, break. Go, say hi. Job, I learned so much. Oh, no. Is that what Cat's to me the most on everybody? He loves everyone here. Yeah. I'm sure. You guys are ready? We'll drag them back over the place and we'll start talking about things. But go ahead, get your love in. So wait a minute, I didn't know this was happening today. Huh. I told you cool stuff was happening today. Good boy. Yeah. Oh, the best stuff. Oh. Oh my God, he's precious. His baby pictures, by the way, are literally the cutest thing. I show everybody. I'm like, you have to see the dog.
He's so cute.
Yeah. He's quite the handsome gentleman. Huh?
You're doing so good. Is it fine?
Are you ready to play, folks?
Wanna go place?
Come on, let's go. Gotta get it out real quick.
So excited.
All right, Brutus, place. I'm gonna tap him. We're at a 4 right now. Good place. All right, so we won't touch him on there. We'll let him find his thing, and then you guys are gonna be his reward today.
Okay.
So every time he finds his calm and relaxes, we'll let him pop back off. So let's talk about everything where he's at so far, and then I'm gonna let Angel out in a little bit with his muzzle on. We'll just kind of go over where he's at. I'm also curious to see where he's at with you guys involved. So we'll go over all of that as well, and we'll kind of talk about some tips just before Angel comes out about just deep breathing and trying to pretend like we don't know that he's ever had problems, you know, which is going to be harder for you guys because I've only seen a tidbit compared to what you guys have had to deal with, you know, his whole life essentially. So, so the main things that I'm definitely working with him and the things I notice the most is honestly just being nitpicky. He's like, obedience is obviously great. Yeah. He knows things. And he knows when he should be doing them. But sometimes he tries to pretend like he doesn't have to. And then the first few days, the crying in the crate, even if he was completely laying down, you know, which is fine. But at the same time, it definitely is a little, it's almost like a demand bark in a way, even if he's not doing much. So we've done a lot of correcting, even at low levels for just everything. And he has just started to come more into that calm body. And that is all kind of going to coincide with him just kind of releasing his dog stuff and realizing that he doesn't need to be on guard every time he sees a dog. Place. So what we do with the e-collar is we're just going to tap, 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 bottom button. Oh, you pulled your own leash there, bud. You're fine. Place. And he will be sensitive sometimes on a lower level when he's at a more relaxed state. When dogs are out, we definitely go to a higher level. I want to say right now, there you go, buddy. Right, we're probably at about like a 10-ish for our main correction. It's the highest we're going these days for a correction. Well, really, we're sitting at about 2 to 4 when I'm just asking him to do things. So when I want him in his crate to just relax, tap, 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 waiting for him to relax, and he knows how to do the yawn and release his stuff. If he's not doing those things and he's panting and he's kind of a little bit more ready to go, I'm just having to wait him through it. And sometimes I will tap, tap, tap a little bit to get him back there. Yeah, break. Good boy. You can break. Yeah, that's a good job. And it's going to be little things like that of going home where even if like dad's coming home, he has to be on place, and until he's found that calm, then he can have dad's attention. It's going to be the hardest part for you guys is those little things where he does the cute little baby things and tries to pretend like he doesn't know things. But it'll take you guys 5 more seconds. You know, maybe 5 minutes really. In the grand scheme of things, it's going to go into every behavior. Dogs like this who are big and just know that they can just not listen in one little instance, that's where it's going to go in all of our other stuff. And I don't want him to think on a walk that like, oh, okay, I now have control. It's going to be you guys nitpick everything. You have control over everything. So that's kind of what his vibe has been here lately. We've just been kind of picking him apart with all the little things. But he's incredible, and he does really, really good with everything I ask of him. You know he wants to do it, and he knows how to do it for sure. Main thing we're starting to learn right now is how to just get really conditioned to the muzzle and the power looper. He just wants to wear it and not try to fight it all, and he doesn't do it bad. But it still is a temper tantrum a little bit thing, and that's why he got like a pretty good correction with rolling in the grass trying to get it. I was like, no, and then he was so dramatic about that correction when he just got one meeting Angel and didn't even feel it at all. And I'm like, of course you're going to be a baby about that one. But it's still like a correction has to be meaningful. It has to be enough to tell him that we're stopped doing the behavior, but also that's why I wanted to have a couple weeks of building the e-collar in where he just knew it in all these other instances, because now he's feeling it and he's not just thinking, what the fuck is that feeling? He's now having an understanding of like, oh, I need to do something else. I'm not supposed to do that. I re-engage with this thing. Clicker has also been incredible too. So every time, every time we click, we get some treats and he loves it. Has it been so good for him, buddy? Good. Can we go back to pace? Good job. Yeah, you can have some snacks on there. Oh, are we stuck? Oh, you stuck on your own. We're a mess today. Everything's been so smooth this morning. When parents get here. Thank you. Good job. Stay. And when I'm saying place, sometimes I will guide him into a down, but generally it is just stay. And then sometimes I will tap him, but he should know to relax there on his own. And I will only guide him if it's in a moment where there's a lot going on. I'm like, okay, just down. But I'd rather him go there and really just work it out on his own. And he does know how to find his relaxation, pop into that really nice relaxed body thing, and then go on. And even when I brought Angel out earlier, he was even sit in like a more relaxed sit for a second, which he came out, he's a little bit more excited, but that's what I'm looking for, is just relaxation in the body. He doesn't necessarily need to be laying down, but when he's the most comfortable, he's definitely laying his big body down, for sure. And I think that's just like a big dog thing in general. So a few things we'll also go over is, like, I'm sure you've seen recall has been the tone button. So every time we've been saying Brutus come, we've been doing that. If he's not listening, it's the same thing. I tap that bottom until he comes. And he immediately, when he gets the tap, is like, he just like books it over to me and we'll go and kid his treats. But all those little things are going to be really important to going home. Just nitpicking him with the recall, place, all those things. And the thing that I want place to end up being for him, which it is starting to just become that, is a mindset. I want him to know that when he goes to place, it's to relax. Even if you guys are out and there's no place board, it's gonna be like, hey, place, and he can just lay down where he's at. But it's the mindset now. I had a Belgian Malinois that wanted to eat me all the time, and sometimes I literally would just be like, place, and he'd just lay down and take a deep breath, and I'd be like, thank you. But it was something that I worked really hard, because when I got him, that dog was neurotic as hell. But it was just something that we worked really hard on, because it is like a fail-safe when he's not feeling comfortable. If there is other dogs coming around that you can't control that are gonna be crazy, he's probably gonna be defensive, you know? So I definitely can't tell what dogs he likes or doesn't like, whatever. It really just seems like he can't work through his emotions in the moment, and it just comes out as like, I'm insecure, I don't know what to do, fuck you, you know, kind of thing. And I don't think it even matters what kind of dog it is as much as I just don't know how to handle something moving. And these dogs were bred to like hunt down and kill wolves. So I mean, like, ideally, it's like we have some Cane Corso puppies that just came into the rescue, and we had one dropped off today because she's 4 months old and she's starting to guard one of her humans. She's only been in foster for like a week, but she's already growling at the other dogs and telling them, and that's going to be a bad 100-pound dog if you let that thing. So she's in boot camp right now, and we're going to work on all those little things, but finding her a home where they're going to also have a similar thing with Brutus, where it's like, go ahead and just guide him back on for a second.
Place.
Good job. I'll tap if we need to. So one tap at 4. Oh, just a couple taps. Yes. I'll let you go off in a second. Cheating. Yeah, you know you're cheating. Pop that butt over. Yeah, oh, come on. Okay, break. That's very nice. Go ahead. Go ahead. You sick big old boy. I kind of joke that he's like that tall guy at school that like bumps his head and everything and stuff, where he's like really cool, but he's also kind of just like a dork because he like doesn't know how big he is. Yeah, he's definitely like the dumb jock who's just really hot but doesn't know what's going on, for sure. But he's so sweet. And so yeah, all those things are just the main things that I'm noticing that we're working on. And then now, like tomorrow, we're gonna head out into public. And we're going to go work everything there. And he's probably going to be a little bit more wanting to have a temper tantrum here and there, see something, and maybe. But honestly, I also do think with the amount of control that we have now, I might not see anything. And I might just want to almost try to go find somewhere where we're really just, I might do less so I can just have him kind of work through it. But the idea is that if it's not happening, then everything that we're doing is working. And he's starting to realize that me being the leader works for him, and that's reactivity essentially does come from I don't know what to do, a parent doesn't know what to do, so I'm going to tell this dog to fuck off. And so we're essentially going to be teaching him through all these handling skills that you guys also know what to do, and that is a big part of it. And sometimes even when I, Devin, my assistant trainer, she was like, he's just so big and that can be intimidating. And even when he's like looking at you, sometimes you can't, like when she first met him, she's like, does he want my attention? I was like, yeah, he does. She pet him, he's like, oh, but like when he just looks at you, like, you don't can't tell much. And so I get how dogs like that in general can just be intimidating to other people or whatever, and that already puts you on guard when you know your dog is like that. So we're just gonna pretend that he's a puppy who, is really good with everything, and that will be fine. So Brutus come to play, so we're gonna show him how we do our power loop here. So this is his new leash setup, and we might not have to use this part if we want it shorter. I just like having a longer leash, especially because part of his training really has been freedom and being able to move away when he needs to, and not needing to have so much control. And like realistically, you're not always going to have your dog tight at your side in every scenario, and you want to make sure that he can still work through those things. So with his slip lead, the way that it works is we back this stopper up. If you've ever seen a gentle leader, we're essentially making a gentle leader with this. So we're going to back that up, and we'll put this around his nose, figure 8 style. With a long nose, huh? Yeah, the Austin Long Dog, don't we? And then we don't put it too far down, but just enough. He also has a nose where it doesn't slip too easily, which is nice. Some dogs you do have to get it really snug on. But the idea of this is that you're just going to have so much more control over him. Break. And so even though he is really good on the leash when I blocked him, he gives into leash pressure.
Yeah.
And you guys are going to have a reactive moment or something. This is just going to be the way that you guys are going to have so much more control over him. And if you guys are going somewhere where you feel like you just can't control the environment and you're worried about him, this is the way that I want you guys to walk him. I also do nitpick him and I will tap him when he tries to get it off. And we are going to also just be working the next couple weeks of just still making this the most positive, fun thing. And that's kind of what we've been doing in the mornings and evenings, is just getting our muzzle out and working on it. But whenever he gets too close or he wants to try to rub it off, I'll just give him a couple tap taps. Good job, Bubbles. Yes, that's a good boy. So you're gonna just, and then having the hands-free part will be easier for the e-collar. Yeah. You'll be able to control him, hit buttons if you need to. Sit.
Yep.
Good job, very nice. And then this also just attaches right here. So you can just have that part off, which is nice. Off. Good job. Stuff, buddy. And then also this just is a slip lead. So if we end up just wanting to use this, you can just put this around his neck and just have a slip lead. He'll be a lot closer to you. Yeah. That might also be good for certain scenarios where you just want to not have that extra freedom. Yeah. But I want to also show you guys what that kind of freedom looks like for him and how that kind of helps with him. And part of the reason why I use this yard for him is I want him to be able to just make another decision and not feel so trapped. Now I've been doing all the yard stuff with him and he's still just doing great with it. Yeah. But I start with the bigger areas, we go smaller and smaller, and then we'll go to public. So that's kind of how it works. So. All right, Brutus, go to place. Yeah, come see his baby. Good job. Very good job. Yeah, he's a good boy. I'm going to take the power loop off and we're going to do muzzle now. The muzzle I have for him is like for greyhounds. It's like the larger size. Yep. But I just like that one just because it just doesn't make him look so scary.
Yeah.
And so the reason I use, and honestly, like that matters that much. But when I'm out training, I want people to not be super intimidated.
Totally.
The whole idea is I want to get close to people's dogs and stuff like that. And I am the asshole who's like following someone else's dog in the store. I'm like, sorry guys.
Sorry.
I try not to scare you guys, but it's what's happening right now. And so it's kind of same thing. I just want him to have a muzzle where, you know, and you guys don't have to have this muzzle, but it's just nice for me when I go out, kind of takes my anxiety a little bit more away. Every time I have a dog that has like a more crazier looking muzzle on, I always just feel like everyone's looking at me crazy. I get more anxious about it. Yep. And our anxiety definitely will play a part in it. Yep. All right, you stick. Good job. We're gonna get Mrs. Angel involved.